M0FXB, good morning. Just passing some time here in southwest UK. So what have we got? In front of me, we've got the new ID-52, which eventually will be available around the world. We've managed to get this one from Japan, so we can do some nice sort of videos, nice teaser type videos. So in front of me, we've got the Icom 7300. Just see if we can find a station, find some activity.
And then it goes to E again for the middle 8. So that's the way we played it anyway. We are back now and it's just listening to it on the record. So that's the key aisle.
So you all know the 7300 HF to 6 meters, Icom interface, touchscreen, audio scope, waterfall scope, built-in tuner, 100 watts. Everyone knows this radio. Just getting organized here. I can see what I'm actually doing. And it's a lovely radio, and a lot of people that buy the Icom 7300 buy the 9700 to go side by side, and that is about £1,800 to buy that radio because it has VHF, UHF, 23 centimeters. And so I was just thinking with the 52 that the side by side companions, the ID-52 is very good because now you can see the 52 here. We've got this GPS info here at the moment, and you can also have the GPS. Let's do this. Position there as well, and it's also showing here as well. So let's just turn it up so you can hear it's on my Pi-Star hotspot on Reflector 1.
I will. If you're busy, I'll see you another time, or you could tell me when you might be free, and I'll get in touch with you through Echolink.
So there you are. It's sounding very good. I'll just turn it down. So let's just tell you about the radio. It's VHF, UHF, GPS, Bluetooth, DPRS. It's a dual band radio, as you can see there, and it will receive dual D-Star or dual digital on A and B band at the same time, and no other radio does that. So right now it's got them receiving my hotspot twice, but I could on one half select my other hotspot. This is my open spot, wait for activity, and that will come through in a sec. So if we put it on single receive and we want the scope, waterfall scope, there's your waterfall scope. Just need some activity, so have a look at this.
Try to connect that to me. I'm going to stand by. Make sense? What? Okay, we'll QSY to Echolink. Let me bring my iPad into my... there's two offices in this home. There's one downstairs in the bedroom, the big bedroom, and there's another one upstairs in the office. So let me... I'll QSY to Echolink in just 2 minutes. This is KD2 JSM Clear. We'll see you on Echolink.
And I can tell you that audio is lovely. Nice audio. They have improved the speaker on the 51. I'll just show you the 51 size comparison. like so. Now the 51 is a smaller package to hold. I wouldn't part with the 51, and the plus 2 version does nearly everything that the 52 does. What has the 52 got that's extra? Well, it's got the color screen. It's a larger screen. It has built-in Bluetooth, and you don't need the OPC2350 cable. So that's quite handy because they're £50. You can use a normal micro USB cable with this. And if I look at the menu, you've got the scope. Now picture sending, you can do it with the 51, but you need to connect it to the app RSM1A. The 52 doesn't need the app to send photographs. It'll do it straight from radio to radio via a reflector as well. So scope menu, you've seen voice record, transmit, FM radio. Definitely does that.
Trace to a village in Worcestershire, as Helen Briggs explains.
Isabella Allen's story came to light when pressed wildflowers, poems and sketches of plants were found inside a copy of the English Flora from 1820.
There you go. Hit the VFO button to back out of that. As you can see, we're showing GPS here. We've got a lock at the top. Let's go back into the menu. We've got terminal mode, which you don't need the OPC2350 cable. When I've tested terminal mode, works fine, and with Doozy it works very well. Well worth having. We might even try having contact in a minute. So let's move the 51 out of the way. Turn up the 7300. I'm just doing receive.
Everyone have a good day. Make the best of the weather. Back to you, Tony. M0HZ from M0HUZ.
I'll just show the tuner in action. Just move off that frequency a bit. Turn on the tuner. Off, on, hold down. We're in the lowest power setting. As you can see. So the 7300 is a lovely radio. I have got the 705, but I wouldn't part with the 7300. It's got the 100 watts, and it's my dedicated HF radio. The 705, I think it's just sort of a carry-around QRP radio that, you know, has got that amazing DR mode for D-Star. So again, they're different enjoyment, and I know they're expensive, these kind of radios, but you buy them and you keep them forever. That's the kind. They're that good. So I think there's going to be some good activity later, I think. So in the UK, it's 8:10, so I'm sure it'll get better. It looks like we're going to have a lovely sunny day here. So let's get back to the Icom ID-52. See if we can have a contact on there. Now I have ordered a fist microphone, which is the HM75, again from Japan, although not sure when that's going to come. And it's a speaker microphone, so it'll be easier for me to do tests. So we'll turn down the 7300. We'll get the 52 in dual receive, and then we'll set 1/2 back to my memory channel. So all you do is hold down DR. And so hold down DR. And now we're on our All-Star node. And let's make sure we're connected. So full DTMF on this. So quick, I've already programmed a DTMF for HubNet. We'll hit that.
Already in this mode.
So that's telling me we're already connected to HubNet. Let's have a contact. Mike 0 Fox X-Ray Bravo calling for a contact on HubNet. Okay, very quiet station there. Let's go back. Yeah, go again. Your audio was very low. M0 FXB Andreas. I should use a Bluetooth microphone, really. If I had I could use my Bluetooth headset.
I think it is Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango.
Mike Uniform Echo Tango. Yeah, good morning to you. Your audio's a bit low, but yeah, receiving you.
Mike 0, I forgot your suffix, sorry. Too early in the morning for me. This is Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango. How is that now?
Mike Uniform Echo Tango. Yeah, receiving you is a bit louder. I wonder where you are. My name's Andreas in Western Supermare.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. My name is Robert. I'm in Chippenham, Wiltshire, West Wiltshire. Standing in my doorway having a cup of coffee, enjoying the sunrise. Back to you.
Yeah, hi Robert. Well, good to meet you. I'm also having a cup of tea. The sun's well risen here, and the garden's starting to get some nice sun. I just thought I'm actually talking on an Icom ID-52, quite a hard radio to get outside of Japan, and a HubNet node made by G7RPG. What is the radio you're using, and how are you making it into the HubNet system? Back to you.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. I'm connected to NB7IKL, a node which is about 4 miles away. I'm running a RD5R. It's the radiality DMR version of a Baofeng. It's the Baofeng that the DMR actually works on it. But I'm not running DMR. I'm not running digital now. I'm running analog into NB7IKL. Back to you.
Yes, Roger. Yeah, I've heard of the Radio Oddity and the DMR. I know there's some quite good sort of firmware sort of changes you can make to that. So yeah. Well, you're just a bit weak in, but otherwise you are making it, and the link's doing a good job. I bought one of the G7RPG HubNet nodes, so I'm just about 10 foot away from that box, and the ID-52 is the sort of upgrade to the ID-51. Not sure if you've heard of that. It's the sort of color screen dual band Icom latest radio. Back to you.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. Later I'll change my antenna to an Abri, a tall Lambri. I'm on 2 meters at the moment. My link is on 2 meters. So let me change antennas in a bit and see if I can
see if my signal improves. As far as the Icom, I've never heard of it, but I'll look it up on the internet and see what I can see about it. It sounds like it might be a quite interesting radio. Back to you.
M0FXB. Yeah, it is. I've got it side by side with the Icom 7300 HF radio. The 52 is a radio that people have been waiting for about 18 months. And then because of COVID and some manufacturing problems, it's been delayed. So everyone's many people have paid deposits to get one. They can't get one. I've been very sneaky and managed to get one in from Japan because they did produce, I don't know, a certain amount of these radios. So yeah, look it up, and yeah, no problem with testing the antenna. Always enjoy doing that. Back to you, Robert.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. Yeah, like I said, it's like an interesting radio. What does it have any special features or anything like that? Back to you.
Yes, it does. Unusually, it has dual D-star receive on A and B band. You do have dual receive other digital radios like the FT3D, but they don't receive it simultaneously. It's only, you can have VHF analog on A band and digital on B band, but you can't normally have both on A and B band. So this will do that. It actually has a waterfall scope, and this one can send photographs from the radio. You still have to send the photograph to the radio, but it will send it without any additional software. And obviously GPRS, DPRS, SD card, and it has the ability to connect to a computer just using a normal micro USB lead. So, and it's got a big color screen, big for a handheld, and Bluetooth. So yeah, it's the latest. It's basically it's the latest handheld you can get. Back to you.
Mike 0FXC goes to FCX. This is Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango. Yeah, that sounds really interesting, especially the Bluetooth. It'd be great to have a Bluetooth adapter for doing voice work or something like that, or for transferring data to your computer. That might be interesting. I think a lot of radios suffer from that. I would think in this day and age it would almost be like default to have Bluetooth on your radio. I have an ST818 ND that I haul around when I'm doing portable work, and I think that would benefit so greatly if it had just a Bluetooth. If they just put a Bluetooth upgrade on it, it would have made it a much better radio, and it wouldn't have cost that much to do. I mean, I have an external adapter that plugs into the data port that does Bluetooth, so I can control the radio, but I can't send audio through that Bluetooth. It's only for data, so it's a bit of and it's only for data to control the radio, like the frequencies, just like that. It won't allow you to actually send anything. It doesn't have a modem in it or anything like that. So it limits it a little bit, but that would have been a brilliant addition to that radio. Back to you.
Yes, all received, and agree with you. Yeah, I mean it does seem very basic, and I do think the ham manufacturers they're just playing catch up. We can buy an Android device for £70-80 that will do way more than this radio will do. So this radio is it's a £500 radio. So I know what you're saying. Back to you.
Yeah, my Android phone receives on a multitude of frequencies. I mean, even my radio receives FM, broadcast FM. It wouldn't take much to retune the chip to receive 2 meters and other bands and stuff. And it didn't cost me all that much. I mean, it's a great radio. It has a huge screen. I can run all sorts of software on it. Maybe that's what to do. I'm a computer consultant and work in electronic engineering also. So maybe I'll tinker around with the internals on the phone one day and see if I can write an app, retune the chip. I mean, that's how SDR got really started. Well, SDR was around for a while, but SDR really took off when they was able to retune these television chips to receive all bands from about, I forget, 20 megahertz up or something like that. Back to you.
M0 FXB returning. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had a network radio. That is basically an Android device in a box with a full PTT microphone added, or you can have it in a walkie-talkie situation, and that you can buy them for £150. So it's interesting, isn't it? And do you use the link very often? See, I've got the HubNet box here, so I come into HubNet system all the time and really enjoy it. Back to you.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. Occasionally I use Echolink, and generally I use the HubNet. We don't have many, I can't contact many repeaters from here, at least not standing in front of my house or from within my house. I have a collinear antenna that I procrastinated on putting up. But I generally try to drag out if I'm not running HF in the house. I've set up some long wire antennas outside the back of my house. So I do that a bit. And but I generally, like when I'm having coffee or something like that, standing out the front or out the back, or when I'm on my scooter going around Chippenham or going around the countryside, I drag that FT 818 out, and either I contact people on the FT 818 or on this thing, because I drag this thing around everywhere also. Back to you.
EI5DD.
That's the Pi Star coming in at the same time there. M0 FXB return, and the 818 is an excellent radio. I had an 817 for years. It was one of my first sets, and I mean, does a radio like the Icom 705, does that interest you? Because that's the Icom sort of equivalent of, I suppose, of the 818. Has a big screen and has full DR mode or D-Star, GPS functionality, all that kind of stuff. DPRS, does that interest you, or do you prefer the other style of radio like the 817? Back to you.
Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango returning. The Icom, 705, that came out. That's, way past the 818. But it came out after the 818, and it's also really expensive for what it is, from my point of view. And the 818 was on sale a year ago or 2 years ago when I bought it. It was before COVID, so yeah. Must be 2 years now. And the reason I bought it, I was going to buy the, what was it, the 5105. I forgot the name of it. But it's a good radio, and, you know, all seeing, all dancing. All singing, all dancing. But they were having a problem as you couldn't charge it and use it at the same time. So I thought, let's go with the 818. Also, if the 818 breaks, it's a good possibility I can fix it. Whereas one of the newer radios with the computer stuff in, I haven't been inside any of them, but if they break, you're in no man's land, maybe, because of all of the software that's involved in it. Okay, the 818 has software too, but most of it is radio. Back to you.
M0FXB returning. Yeah, and it's a valid point that you raise. With the 705, you'd be a bit worried about, you know, taking the back off of that and having a look to see if you can repair it with the SDR sort of technology, I suppose. Where the 817, you'd give it a go, wouldn't you? And price-wise, I think when the 818 came out, it was about £800, I think. Now, second-hand value would be lower. And the 705 new is £1,300, so there's quite a jump. And I think with the 705, you would be worried about dropping it, where the 818 in a leather case, you probably wouldn't mind dropping it a couple of times and a few splashes of water, but the 705, I think you would. So yeah, well, okay, well, lovely to make the contact, and you know, even though you're weaker into the link, the conversation has been fine. So I'll put it back to you for a final, and thanks very much.
No problem. Yeah, what is it? I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, the 818, it was on sale. They were doing, Yaesu was doing £100 rebate or something like that. So I got mine effectively for like 600 quid. And that was another reason I bought it. I snapped it up. I thought, this is a huge bargain. And, you know, it gives me pretty much everything I want. Okay, it's a bit inefficient. That just means you carry around an extra RC, a battery pack. And I've never run out of battery when I've taken it board. Never. Even when I've used the internal battery. And if I take an RC, I take, what is it, a 3 amp hour RC battery, but 3-cell. I think, 3-cell RC lithium-ion battery with me, and with that I can run, you know, full power, you know, a good hour and a half, and by that time I'm burnt out in any case. Anyway, I'll bid you 73s, and hopefully we'll meet up with you again later down in the log. Mike 0 Uniform Echo Tango.
Yeah, okay, Robert. Well, yeah, sounds like you got a bargain, definitely, for 600, brand new. So, yeah, enjoyed chatting with you. Look me up on YouTube, Mike 0 Fox X-Ray Bravo. You'll find lots of the conversations that I have are on there. And it's good to have you as part of my channel so we can keep in contact, Robert. So, 7.3, and I'll QSY. I'm going to have a go on my hotspot on Reflector 1 Charlie. 7.3, all the best.
All the best. The biggest bonus in the package was the Yaesu map. That has all the call signs and stuff annotated on it. I thought that was great. Anyway, 73, take care.
Yeah, I do like the map that you get with that radio. When I first got that radio, I was so pleased. Many years ago from a second-hand shop. 7.3, all the best. Right, well that was a nice chat with Robert. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to single receive on PyStar. And we're going to call out on Reflector 1 Charlie. Now remember, this is the thing, if you've never seen this radio will receive D-Star dual band at the same time. No other radio in the world does that. So let's give a call out on 1 Charlie. Mike 0 Foxtrot X-Ray Bravo calling for a contact on 1 Charlie. So we're using a jumbo hotspot MMDVM.
Mike 1 Foxtrot X-Ray Bravo, this is Echo India 5 Delta Delta.
Echo India 5, is it Delta Delta? Thanks very much for coming back to me. I'm just live streaming on my YouTube channel, M0FXB, testing the Icom 7300 side by side with the new ID-52 from Japan. Back to you there. The name's Andreas, Western Supermare.
From Echo India 5 Delta Delta. Very good morning to you, Andreas. My name is Steve. QTH is Galway on the west coast of Ireland. And I thought I recognised the voice from the YouTube videos. So, anyway, congrats on the ID-52. I think that was a new toy that you really wanted there. Certainly I've been looking into that myself. Nice piece of kit, okay. And, well, I suppose once it becomes available, or a little bit more freely available, I definitely go for that. I'm using a 9700, so it'll be a little while before I go for the ID-52 there. So back to you, M0FXP, this is the I-5 today.
Yeah, very good evening, Steve. Yeah, I recognise the voice and the call sign. So the video or the stream that I'm doing at the moment is about the Icom 7300 being the perfect companion, or the ID-52 being the perfect companion for the Icom 7300. So if you've already got, because I know that many hams have already got a 7300 and are toying with the idea of getting the 9700, which is an amazing radio, of course. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to have a video where, because the 52 you can buy for around £500, and it's full dual star, D-Star receive and GPS picture sending and all the rest of it. So I thought it'd be an interesting live stream, and that's what I'm doing now. But you're sounding very good. Are you on the 9700 now? Back to you.
From the I-5 today, yes indeed, I'm on the 9700. I've only had it about a week and a half, so just getting used to it. Of course, the first thing that I was trying out was the D-Star side of it. Although, from where I live, I'm at sea level in Galway City, just next to Galway Bay, and I suppose the nearest sort of active hams would be about 60 miles away, and they're all behind hills, but two particular I get very good results. They're S2, but I copy them on analog. Now, digital, I would say if they had D-Star, I'd get them very well. The only test that I've been able to do with them, because they're AC fusion guys, is that even with an S0 signal over 60 miles, you can actually get through very well on the fusion side. But I would love if they had D-Star, but unfortunately, no such luck, as they say from the I-5.
Yeah, Stephen, you cut out there. You may have timed out. Stephen, back to you.
M0FXB EI5 today. That's probably the internet on my side, so not a fault there. But yeah, I was saying with the 9700, I've only had it a short time, and the initial tests on the D-Star are very, very impressive, and there's one or two of us in Galway have it. Other than that, I've had some excellent contacts, possibly over greater than 60 miles with the FM and the SSB. We even had an AM contact, and that was quite successful. But because I'm at sea level, most of these contacts would be located behind hills, so I'm lucky to get them. But with the digital side, certainly the contacts are way better now. They don't have D-Star, but I have tried fusion with them, and we've had very good results at S0 signal strengths, but I wish they'd get D-Star, but I don't think it will happen too quickly there. So anyway, congrats on the ID-52. It's a lovely looking piece of kit, and I have the ID-51E Plus 2, which is nice, but definitely I've been looking at that one further down the road from the I-52.
M0 FXB returning. Yeah, I still have my 51 plus 2, and I do like tinkering with that, and I've got the OPC 2350 cable, and so I do the terminal mode and use Doozy. And looking down at your QRZ, I can see you're heavily into all sorts of stuff there, and I can see the Fusion, is it the F100 radio, and I did use that for a while with the SCU cable for wires XPDN. And DMR wise, I've got the Anytone 878. I'm a bit lazy with it recently, but I used to monitor Talk Group 91 quite often. I do like the 878. I've got the new sort of version that has APRS receive as well. So I do like the digimodes. I make sure I've always got a HF setup, but I'll be honest, I don't use it that often for transmit, although I'll listen most days on HF, but very rare I transmit. And it looks like you've got some repeater type stuff there as well, and I'm guessing some of this is for some links you've got across there in Ireland. So that's all interesting. So you've obviously been enjoying the hobby and this kind of stuff for many, many years. Back to you.
FXB EI5 today. Yeah, well, I got into digital initially through getting an an FT2D handset many years ago when they first came out, and from there I bought a couple of Zastone handhelds, which were on DMR, and that was it really. But we have 4 repeaters in Galway, one of which is actually on an offshore island beaming in towards the coastline. That's on Inishbofin Island. The other 3 are dotted around the county, Galway City, in the middle of County Galway and to the southeast of it. So we get reasonably good coverage, and we have the facility of roaming between them, so the radio automatically flips onto the stronger repeater as you're driving, which is really a gift in a lot of ways. And we have the IC Fusion repeater in the southeast. I have a IC Fusion gateway, OFX gateway in Galway City of my own home QTH, which is available for everybody to use. And we have a gateway on a hill, which used to be multi-mode, but I've just made it exclusively D-Star now because we've got all the facilities for everything else. So it really does a fantastic job for me. We have a D-Star repeater that we inherited recently, and there's a little bit of work being done on it, but we hope to have a D-Star repeater in Galway very shortly as well. So, it's been busy times and very, very rewarding for me, I5DD.
Yes, Roger, and it sounds like you're really enjoying it, and that's the thing, isn't it? For me, the way the digital started was I had the digital radios, MD380 DMR. I had an Icom 2820 for D Star, but do you know, I never hardly used the digital side. I think I also had a FT70 for Fusion. And then what happened is someone talked me into getting a small jumbo hotspot, and I knew I could buy the parts from Japan for about £40, and I thought, oh, okay, well, let's give that a go. But it's not real radio. That's what I thought. But hey, for £40, I'll just have some fun. And really, that was a massive game changer for me. Once I got into that, it was like having my own repeater at home. It took me down a whole different path, and it really changed from doing the hobby to really passionately enjoying the hobby. And that's where I am now. And it looks like you've been there for a while and you get a lot of enjoyment from it. And I do. It's like when I buy a radio now, I never think, oh, I wish I saved the money. I always think I'm going to have hundreds and hundreds of hours enjoying that radio and the different modes that are available. And it's endless, isn't it? So, and I've never looked back since. So, okay, I'll check it back for a final because I'm doing live streaming here. I'm sort of demonstrating the radio. But thanks very much for the contact again, Stephen. And we'll talk again soon. M0FXB.
M0FXB 5 today. Yeah, well, congrats on the ID-52. I know you were researching that for a long time, and I followed those videos with great interest. So I'm delighted you got it okay. And well, where, as they say in this part of the world, hope it goes well for you there. So yeah, D-Star, I tended to get into that later. When I set up all the other things, I said, well, you know, the only thing that we haven't got locally is D-Star, and I had to get a handheld to be able to set up the gateways and the Raspberry Pi systems that we had, and it's really fantastic, you know. I'm sorry I didn't get it earlier, you know, that was the bottom line, but anyway, we have it now, and that's the important thing. And of course, D-Star has proven itself over the test of time because you know, they've done many upgrades and firmware upgrades and so on, and that's why the signal's so good nowadays. Anyway, delighted to have the chat, and delighted to talk to the person that I've been watching on the YouTube for so long. So congrats there, and keep up the good work. This is EI5DD now signing for you with M0FXB.
M0FXB, also delighted to have the contact. The 9700 is sounding amazing, and it is an amazing radio, isn't it? So yeah, we'll talk soon. I'm going to see if I can go to Reflector 30 now, give that a test on my open spot, because that was cutting out a bit the other day. And so we'll say 7.3, all the best. So we'll get it back into dual mode.
Come in with really nice audio.
I've got some bit of break up there on D-Star. So I won't go in dual mode because it's busy. So we'll just go to the from section on the 52. See, it says from. We just select the bottom half using that button, and we'll turn it to my open spot that I've pre-programmed. And we're going to give a call out on Reflector Charlie, 30 Charlie, using my open spot. Mike 0 Fox X-Ray Bravo, calling for a contact on 30 Charlie. So if anyone's listening, call back on 30 Charlie.
Yeah, good morning, Andreas. G6 TBI. Was listening to you on one Charlie as well. Your connection sounds much better today. Golf 6 Tango Papa India. Name's Chris.
Yeah, hi Chris. Oh yeah, perfect to do the test. I was on the Pi Star then, so that's not getting the cutout. I'm now on testing on the Open Spot 3, and let's see if it cuts out again. So I'm doing a live stream with this Icom 7300 and saying that the 52 would make a perfect companion if you've already got an Icom 7300. Back to you, and good to catch you.
Yeah, G6 TPI, okay, yes, well, it's a much better, less broken up than it was the other day. As I was saying, I think it may be an ISP problem, but certainly, absolutely, I'm on the 7900 at the moment talking to you, and it sounds really good. Beautiful audio, just one very slight dropout on that last transmission, but well, it's the system and the network. I mean, it may have been a problem the other day with systems, servers, and network. Who knows? But yeah, you sound really good today. And yes, I nearly pressed the button on the ID-52. I think you probably bought it via that using the Yahoo purchase. Is that the method that you used? Did you find it in Yahoo? Because I couldn't find it anywhere else connected with that particular shopping channel, G6 TPI.
M0FXB, yes, on the top left of the page it says Yahoo, doesn't it? And you search it there, and then look for the shop that's called PalNet, Papa Alpha Lima, November Echo Tango. And I definitely registered my PayPal account to make sure I had some protection, and I used UPS. So yeah, if I do cut out, if there are problems, please tell me, because I've got, if I do, I feel like I've got a problem with the OpenSpot 3. Back to you.
Yep, okay, Andreas, absolutely no dropouts on that over whatsoever. G6 TPI. Hopefully there'll be none from me. At the moment,
see the GPS coming in here?
Hotspots, I have several, and I run them at the same time. That's why I was listening to you on 1 Charlie, as well as obviously listening here on 30 Charlie. I listen on the Northwest Fusion Group, which I'm currently receiving on there on FCS 428, and I'm also listening on 91, although the radio isn't actually switched on at the moment, and that's where the OpenSpot 2 is. But yeah, so I listen to 3 or 4 things at once using different hotspots, but the one I'm currently using is actually one that is on a Pi 3B that I use the DV4 Mini, if you're familiar with those. They were quite popular back in the day, about 7 or 8 years ago when they first came out, but the people who did them over in Germany stopped supporting them and stopped producing them quite a few years ago now, but there is still a following of hardcore people who follow the DV4 Mini. I've got a couple of them. So it's if you've never used one, basically a USB stick. But it isn't using the AMP3000 vocoder. This is actually a transceiver on a USB stick, and they still work quite well. As I say, the one I'm using now is through just a little Pi 3B computer, and I put an image on there and set it all up, and it's been like that for a few years actually, but works quite well. And I can see by the other DV4 Mini that somebody's on 1 Charlie as well as we're speaking at the moment. Not monitoring, I've switched the radios down as I get obviously lots of other radios going in the shack at the same time, which can be confusing when you have a chat with somebody, but yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's a long over. Was there many dropouts in that G6 TPI?
M0FXB returning. No, absolutely perfect. It'll probably be me that drops out. And yeah, when you speak there, it's like I'm speaking to myself. Yeah, Talk Group 91, DMR radio on that. I normally have my Fusion on CQ UK. And then I do like to listen to Reflector 30 and 1 Charlie at the same time. So and then when you said that Pi-Star come to life, I've just switched the 52 to dual receive. So next time you're speaking, I'll catch that on video. I really sort of want to show people that if you've already got a HF radio and you're thinking, right, I'd like to go up the D-Star road, that the 52 is a very good option, because it's almost like you're getting 2 radios in one because of the dual D-Star receive. And hotspots are so cheap now. And I do like to put my hotspots on the Raspberry Pi 3B as well. The DV stick, I haven't got the DV stick, but I've got the DV Mega, which is still on its original board, but you can put that onto a Pi-Star board, and I think that works in virtually exactly the same way, the same interface. I'm just trying to think, so you're controlling your DV stick via the Pi-Star system, aren't you? Not the blue DV system, is that correct? Back to you.
Yep. Okay, Andreas, T6 TPI. As I said, the thing I'm using doesn't use the AMB 3000 chip. It's actually a full transceiver. That the DV4 Mini is a complete unit in its own right. You need the software to control it, but it's its own transceiver. So I'm not using either BlueStack or DV Mega or any of the bits of software. This is, as I said, a dedicated transceiver. If you go to xreflector.net, that's xreflector.net. That's the current site that supports it, and it'll tell you all about it on there. There's a few about second-hand. Like I said, they haven't been made for quite a few years. But yes, I find that it's been fine. Never really had any problems with it. I built an MM DVM, the same as yourself, one of the cheap Chinese ones, and built several for friends around here and set them up, and so there's several hams in this area that have got them that came from me, and I've still got one of the kits actually in a box here that one of these days I'll build it, put an image on, and then use that as another hotspot. But as I say, having the 2 DV4 minis, having the open spot 2, and having the MMDVM jumbo spot as it's called, I think I'm well catered in that area. And I've been out in the car with them, used them portable, even used them overseas. So yeah, I went to Tallinn in Estonia, where the open spots are made by Shark RF. And I was on a tour bus and we went straight past the building where they were, but I wanted to jump off and go and knock on the door and go and have a chat with the guys, but I didn't get the opportunity. But there you go. Anyway, I hope you copied all that. There was just literally one minor dropout in your last over. T6 TPI.
M0 FXB returning, yeah, all copied. And I do think that the OpenSpot 3 may be having server issues, but I received all of yours no problem. I'm only 10 foot from the OpenSpot, which I did reboot factory settings. So I'm on that site. I'm going to have a look at that closely, the xreflector.net. So yeah, the DV stick basically plugs into your laptop, if I'm correct. Is that what you mean? You plug it into your laptop and then it's standalone, or do you actually sort of hold it in your hand with the Raspberry Pi in your hand and the DV stick, and then possibly some sort of microphone? I'm not really sure, but I am looking at the that site. And could you tell me more about that site as well? Back to you.
Yep, okay, Andreas, T6 TPI. It's a group that support it, and the original German founders, I can't remember the call sign of the people who invented it, It was on the market before they were using the AMB 3000 and effectively software to get on. This, as I said, is a full transceiver, but all it is simply a stick, basically a USB stick that plugs into any USB powered USB available computer, and the stick itself has a couple of LEDs in it. It's got a few in it. When it's transmitting, it flashes through the clear plastic case. When it's receiving, like the one is now, got two on the desk here. One of them's transmitting, which will be on reflector 1, so somebody's on reflector 1, Charlie, but as I say, I've switched the radio off to avoid confusion. The other one that's plugged into a Pi Star at the moment is green, so it's green when it's receiving an RF signal. And all it is just simply a memory stick, but you put an antenna on the stick itself because it is a transceiver, as opposed to basically a piece of hardware that works with software on the PC. This is actually a transceiver that works in its own right. It's got transmit and receive itself on the stick.
Right, I think we'll end the stream there, and I'll carry on my chat with Stephen there. 738, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. All the best.
All the rest of the bits of software